कल ही बैठक हुई और अभी दावा भी हो गया कि शख्सगाम घाटी जो है कश्मीर की वो चीन की है। क्या आपने इस पे चर्चा की? बंद कमरे में ही सही, लाल आंख दिखाई? यह जानना तो देश का हक है। आप शख्सगाम की बात करते हैं, अरुणाचल और लद्दाख में हम क्या क्या आ चुके हैं, ये हम कई बार चर्चा कर चुके हैं। हमारे कई नेता यहां आकर आपसे इस बारे में बात कर चुके हैं, आप लोग कई बार कवर कर चुके हो। लगातार हम चीन के आगे सब कुछ गंवाए चले जा रहे हैं और फिर ये बैठक भी होती है, बैठक को क्लोज डोर होती है, बैठक उनके मुख्यालय पर होती है, उनका स्वागत होता है, गर्मजोशी से होती है, सब कुछ कीजिए। उस बैठक के कुछ घंटों में शख्सगाम घाटी तक पे क्लेम, दावा चीन ने कर दिया। इसका भी जवाब दीजिए, इसका भी खुलासा कीजिए। ऑपरेशन सिंदूर में क्या हुआ? फौज के बहुत आला अधिकारी ने खुद बोला कि चीन पाकिस्तान को खुलकर मदद कर रहा था। क्या इस पर भी चर्चा?
So few lessons that I thought I must.
हाँ, चलाइए चलाइए।
As far as Operation Sindoor is concerned, firstly, one border, two adversaries. So we saw Pakistan one side, but adversaries were two, and if I would say actually four or three actually. So Pakistan was the front face. We had China providing all possible support, and it's no surprise because if you were to look at statistics, in the last 5 years, 81% of the military hardware that Pakistan is getting is all Chinese, 81% of that. So it's no surprise. And China, of course, the good old dictum, killed by a borrowed knife, 36 stratagems that China talks about, killed by a borrowed knife. So he would rather use the neighbor to call than getting involved a match on the northern border. So that is what he's seen. And another thing that China perhaps has seen is that he's able to test his weapons against, say, various other weapon systems that are there. It's like a live lab which is available to. So it's a good, that is what is something we have to be very, very cognizant of.
जनरल आर सिंह को आप सुन रहे हैं, आपने उस वक्त भी सुना था। HQ-9 एयर डिफेंस सिस्टम चीन ने तैयार किए, तैनात किए। पाकिस्तान को PL-15 मिसाइलें सप्लाई की जो सीधे भारत को निशाना बना रही थी। फिर भी मोदी जी ने चीन की शर्तों को स्वीकार करते हुए मानसरोवर यात्रा शुरू की, उनकी शर्तों पर शुरू की। मैं आपको कई वृतांत, लंबी प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस है क्योंकि बहुत कुछ पिछले 10-11 साल में हम गंवा चुके हैं, छवि के अलावा भी कुछ गंवा चुके हैं। अब जैसे अमेरिका में डोनाल्ड ट्रंप ने दावा किया, वैसे चीन ने भी दावा किया, साहब मध्यस्थता की थी ऑपरेशन सिंदूर में। जवाब आया यहां से? कोई जवाब नहीं आया। आंखें नीची हैं, हाथ आगे बंधे हुए हैं, झुके हुए। झुका हुआ प्रधानमंत्री ये देश कभी स्वीकार नहीं करेगा जो इस तरह नतमस्तक हो जाता है दुश्मन के सामने। मैंने आपको फर्टिलाइजर का बताया, मैंने आपको डोकलाम का बताया, जो सिलीगुड़ी कॉरिडोर का बताया, जहां घुसपैठ करने के लगातार प्रयास चीन करता रहता है।
All right, that's Congress spokesperson Pawan Khera making a strong attack there on the BJP as well as the Prime Minister over Chinese Communist Party's visit to India and the controversy surrounding Saksham Valley. Now, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi has also slammed the Information and Broadcasting Ministry, accusing it of blocking Tamil film Jana Nayagan and calling it an attack on Tamil culture. In a sharp post, Rahul Gandhi accused Modi government of trying to silence the voice of Tamil people, saying that such attempts will not succeed. The Congress is framing the controversy as a cultural and linguistic flashpoint, especially sensitive in Tamil Nadu, where cinema and identity are deeply intertwined. The High Court had earlier ordered a UA certification to be granted for Jana Nayagan, which was stayed by a 2-judge bench of the High Court. The CBFC has now moved to Supreme Court, as has the Jana Nayagan team, and the case is being currently under sub judice, but with strong political colours in the poll-bound Tamil Nadu state. Controversy is also likely to pick up further as Rahul Gandhi has now jumped into fray. Remember, the High Court had earlier ordered a UA certification to be granted for Jananayagan, which was stayed by a two-judge bench of the High Court. The CBFC has now moved to Supreme Court, and has the team of Jananayagan now faces the court. The matter remains sub judice, but the latest tweet there by Rahul Gandhi and his public statement has added more political colours to the controversy surrounding the movie. Rahul Gandhi has now slammed INB ministry, accusing it of blocking the Tamil film Jananayagan, calling it an attack on Tamil people, its culture. He's accused the Modi government of trying to silence the voice of Tamil people, saying that such attempts will never succeed. With the Congress party now framing this controversy as a cultural and linguistic flashpoint, especially sensitive in Tamil Nadu, where cinema and identity are deeply intertwined, it could reap political benefits for the Congress party, while also create further controversy for Vijay Thalapathi's last movie to be released of his career. All right, for the sake of viewers tuning in to the show, Rahul Gandhi has now slammed INB ministry, accusing it of blocking Tamil film Jananayagan and calling it an attack on Tamil culture. In a sharp post, Rahul Gandhi accused the Modi government of trying to silence the voice of Tamil people, saying that such attempts will never succeed. The Congress is framing the controversy as a cultural and linguistic flashpoint, which is especially sensitive to people of Tamil Nadu, where cinema and identity are often intertwined. Remember, the High Court had earlier ordered a UA certification to be granted for Jananayagan, which was stayed by a two-judge bench of the High Court. The CBFC then moved Supreme Court, so did the makers of Jananayagan. The case is currently sub judice, but has now gained strong political backing by the Congress party, adding political colours to the movie, as well as Vijay's last movie to be released before he makes his firm and final move to political circles. All right, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi has slammed the INB ministry, accusing it of blocking Tamil film Jananayagan, calling it an attack on Tamil culture. Rahul Gandhi took to social media to criticize Modi government, accusing it of trying to silence the voice of Tamil people, saying that the attempts will not succeed. Congress party is framing this controversy as cultural and linguistic flashpoint. More breaking news coming in. As far as the movie Jananayagan is concerned, TVK has now issued a statement thanking supporters over the release of the movie. The party said that it is grateful to all the people and leaders who stood by the movie. It described the film as the last movie of its leader and said that emotions are deeply attached to its release. The TVK added that party cadres, fans and people across Tamil Nadu want the movie to be released peacefully. The matter, however, is still pending before the court. The party said it will decide its next course of action once the movie is released. The latest that is coming to light as far as Jananayagan's release is concerned, TVK has now issued a statement and it has thanked all the supporters who are waiting for the movie to be released. The party said that they are grateful to the people who have stood by the movie. Remember, this is the last movie of TVK chief Thalapathi Vijay. The party says that people are emotional about the release of the movie. They have thanked cadres, fans and people across Tamil Nadu and hope that the movie release be peaceful. For the matter regarding the certification granted to Jananayagan is still pending in the court.
thank all the people and all the leaders who were supported for the release of the movie. And definitely this is the last movie of our leader. Sentimentally, and all our party cadres and including all the people of Tamil Nadu and the whole of our leaders, fans wanted this movie to be released peacefully. And definitely we wanted this to happen very peacefully.
The Supreme Court has now resumed its hearing on the growing crisis of stray dogs across the country, signalling a tougher approach focused squarely on enforcement, accountability and public safety. A three-judge bench continuing to hear the clutch of petition related to street dogs, animal welfare and human safety in the country. During the last hearing on 8th of January, the court made it clear that the issue is no longer about competing emotions but about failure of authorities to implement the law. The bench sharply criticized both the centre and the states for what it described as a complete breakdown in enforcing of the Animal Birth Control or ABC rules. The court underlined that it has never ordered the removal of all stray dogs but has repeatedly stressed on treatment, sterilisation and regulations strictly in line with statutory provisions. Judges observed that unchecked dog population have led to repeated attacks, injuries and death, particularly affecting children and the elderly. The bench warned that it is now considering fixing heavy compensation on states for every dog bite, injury or death resulting from administrative inaction. It also made it clear that responsibility cannot stop with governments alone. In a strong message, the court said that the dog feeders who claim responsibility must also accept accountability, stating that animals cannot be left to roam freely and endanger public life. The court emphasized that its order must not be misused as a license for harassment, but equally cannot be ignored under the guise of compassion. The judges expressed concern that the issue has lingered since 1950s and has multiplied manifold due to lack of execution on the ground. The bench also said that it intends to spend focused time with the centre and the state governments to assess whether any concrete plan of action exists on the matter. Animal welfare advocates reiterated that sterilisation and not culling is the only solution and pointed to underutilization of funds which are meant for ABC implementation. However, the court reiterated that compassion must extend to human beings as well, with the Supreme Court indicating it wants to pass firm directions and hold authorities to account. Today's hearing is expected to be crucial in shaping how India tackles the escalating stray dog problem going forward. And moving on, in what is seen as another move reflecting China's expansionist policies, Beijing reiterated its territorial claims over Shaksgam Valley, saying its infrastructure projects in the region are beyond reproach. This comes just days after New Delhi asserted its right to protect its own interest in the area. India's External Affairs spokesperson Randhir Jaiswal emphasized that Shaksgam Valley is, in fact, an integral part of Indian territory.
评论。首先，你提到的领土。
First of all, the territory you have mentioned are part of China's territory, and China's infrastructure activities in its own territory is beyond reproach. China and Pakistan have signed border agreements and determined the border between the two countries since the 1960s. These are rights of China and Pakistan as sovereign states. And the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, as an economic cooperation initiative, aims to promote local economic and social development and improve people's livelihood. Such agreement and China-Pakistan economic.
At a press conference, Jaiswal said that India has never recognized the so-called China-Pakistan border agreement of 1963. He also added that India does not recognize the China-Pakistan economic corridor as it passes through Indian territory, which has been illegally occupied by Pakistan. Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh are integral parts of India, and this has been clearly communicated to both Pakistan and China on several occasions. The Shaksgam Valley, which covers about 5,180 square kilometers, was illegally ceded to China by Pakistan in 1963 from areas that Pakistan itself had occupied illegally.
Shaksgam Valley is Indian territory. We have never recognized the so-called China-Pakistan boundary agreement that happened in 1963. We have consistently maintained that the agreement is illegal and invalid. We do not recognize the so-called China-Pakistan economic corridor either, which passes through Indian territory that is under forcible and illegal occupation of Pakistan. The entire Union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh are an integral and inalienable part of India. This has been clearly conveyed to Pakistani and the Chinese authorities several times. We have consistently protested with the Chinese side against attempts to alter the ground reality in Shaksgam Valley. We further reserve the right to take necessary measures to safeguard our interests.
Meanwhile, the Army Chief has also said that Indian Army does not accept any Chinese activity in Saksham Valley. Army Chief General Dwivedi said that India does not accept the joint statement by China on CPEC 2.0. He termed the infra development in the area as illegal activity being carried out by China.
India considers 1963 agreement between Pakistan and China as illegal. Therefore, any activity in Shaksgam Valley is concerned, we do not approve of it, and in this terms, MEA has already issued the statement. Therefore, the joint statement which has been issued in China, what I understand about the CPEC 2.0, we do not accept it, and we consider that it is an illegal action which is being carried out by the two nations.
Congress has also stepped up its attack on the BJP, tweeting that the Modi government's foreign policy is on life support. The Congress questioned the government's response, asking pointedly what has happened to the Prime Minister's much-touted red-eye posture on China. The situation, of course, continues to escalate and the matter remains controversial as far as the Chinese claim on Shaksgam Valley is concerned. But that's all the time we have on the show. Thank you very much for watching.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9. English news as it should be.
Loser. लाइफ हो या इन्वेस्टिंग, ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस से नुकसान भी हो सकता है। म्यूचुअल फंड अपनाओ और थोड़ी हेवी लिफ्टिंग एक्सपर्ट्स को भी करने दो।
म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। योजना से संबंधित सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
When drinking water turns deadly, it demands answers.
What is really going on there?
News9 brings you.
Imagine water that you drink.
Contaminated drinking water in Indore, revealing a disturbing link to at least 15 reported deaths.
Typhoid outbreak in tribal areas. 104 patients.
After 15 people were killed.
Foul, frothy water from taps.
You would assume it's safe. It turned deadly.
How is that happening?
Different cities. One national crisis. Bharat. Quest for clean water. News 9. In your interest.
Iran is sliding deeper into chaos as clerical regime faces its biggest uprising in years. CCTV footage has emerged from the Tehran's Abu Zar mosque showing masked men dressed in black smashing furniture, tearing down shelves and destroying religious property just a day before the mosque was set on fire. The attack has become a symbol of how Iran's unrest is no longer confined to street protests. It is now hitting religious and state symbols, confirming a deep anger against the Islamic Republic. A US-based rights group, human rights activist in Iran, says it has verified the deaths of 490 protesters and 48 security personnel, with more than 10,600 arrests in just 2 weeks. The real death toll could exceed 1,000. The Iranian government, however, claims it has the situation under control. Khamenei's regime is shifting blame outwards. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi says that the protest turned bloody deliberately to invite US military intervention, alleging that foreign-backed elements are fueling the violence, and yet he says Iran is not seeking war, but is ready for war and is also ready for dialogue. But Washington is not speaking in diplomatic voice. US President Donald Trump says that the Iranian regime is crossing the red line. He has warned that the US military is studying very strong options, including military action, if protesters continue to be killed. Trump says Iran has already reached out to negotiate, even as the US stays in touch with opposition leaders. He has also floated a dramatic move, restoring internet access inside Iran by potentially deploying Starlink, Elon Musk's satellite network. Now, Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei has warned that the US is trying to intervene in Iran. And past American interventions have failed and will fail again. Meanwhile, the son of late Shah of Iran, Raza Pahlavi, who is living in exile in the US, has openly appealed to Trump, calling on him to help topple the regime, promising that a post-Khamenei Iran would become America's partner. Just let me correct, he's grandson of the deposed king. India is also watching closely. The Ministry of External Affairs says it is monitoring developments and has reached out to Indian students and citizens in Iran, advising them to stay away from protests. For now, New Delhi says all Indians are safe. Now, let me straight away go to Dr. Wael Awad, strategic expert. Dr. Awad, do you think that the American intervention in this is a possibility, sir?
Thank you, Karthikeya, for having me. I believe the American made up their mind about participating not only in the demonstration, but also by instigating the demonstrator to make sure that Israel and the United States are taking the lead in making sure that the regime falls. But however, with today's demonstration in the street of many cities in Iran, it gives you a clear indication that the government still have popularity among the people, among the mass. And we know that there are the call for the ambassadors of Germany, France, and the UK into the by the Iranian today, and showing them videos of the violence that took place on the street and the killing and using guns. So therefore, I think the situation so far is under control. However, the United States made up its mind after Venezuela. I believe there is no international law. There is nothing, can stop the United States from taking any decision, especially when it comes to its own interest and capturing the natural resources, name it, in Venezuela, Iran, Nigeria, Algeria, anywhere in the world, or even Greenland. Therefore, I believe the current situation, Karthikeya, is nothing but a continuity of what happened in August, the attack by the American and Israeli on Iran, the 12 days war that has been happened last year.
Dr. Abad, my question is, why has these protests become so big? And well, a lot of people say it's because of the American sanctions. People are, facing the heat. But do you think that has the protest acquired, as the protest in '79 acquired a religious idiom against the Pahlavis, do you think, sir, sociologically, that this protest has acquired an anti-clergy idiom?
Well, let me take you a little bit further. United States and MI5, the MI6 of the Britain and CIA have toppled the democratically elected government in 1953 by Mossadegh. You know it.
Yes.
And that was how they brought the democratically elected government. How to speak now, they wanted to topple another regime because they believe in democracy. Let's keep it aside. 1979, a revolution has come. Demonstration took place in Iran only after the American sanction in 2006, led by the United Nations, because of the nuclear program. On that, we have seen many legitimate demonstrations in the street of Iran because of the harshment of the people that they have been facing, of the economy, the unemployment, the difficulty in finding their foodstuff. We agreed. 2015, there was some reprieve, there was some relief for the people after the signing of the UN nuclear deal 5+1. You remember it very well. And then after that, the United States American president pulled out, revoked the deal, and again put a unilateral sanction on Iraq. This is a similar replica what happened in Iraq. We followed Iraq occupation, invasion by the United States. They destroyed totally the middle class of Iraq, and then when the right time came, they invaded the country. In a similar fashion now, what we are seeing, this pattern of regime change policy, where the United States have done over the years, and Trump himself was against this foreign intervention or changing regime by force. Now he himself is imposing a new doctrine of the United States, which is above the international.
But Dr. Wad, what about the brutality of the security forces, Basij, IRGC? Lot of incidents, lot of reportage has come out that the people who were seen in hospitals, who went for treatment, and the dead bodies had a sharp blade injury, which means that sharp weapons were used against protesters from very close quarters.
Well, there is the demonstration. There are killing in both sides. There are more than 550 people have been killed, according to our own sources. We know that there are people among the demonstrators that have been killed. That's not a small number. I fully agree with you. But who can orchestrate this killing? I have lived in an area of a turbulent region. We saw during the Arab Spring. I saw what happened to my own country, where people were killed intentionally to create an anti-occupancy, anti-government policy. And that's they succeeded. So the similar pattern, I'm not defending, by the way, the Iranian government at all. I know there is a grievance in the street. I know that the people of Iran have the right, the legitimate right to demonstrate, but there is no way that you can stop demonstration by killing them. But however, if we see the videos, we are watching the videos from the other side also, the counter from the Iranian government, we've seen in the street that there are killing they're using guns. So therefore, there are certain elements, Kartik, anywhere. I mean, Bangladesh, we never expected. Even India was taken by surprise. Then Muhammad Yunus said it was the United States who supported us to topple the Sheikh Hasina. Why it cannot happen in Iran? So it's the same pattern of changing regime. I come back to this. That does not give a clean sheet to the government of Iran not to stop this killing and take the people accountable, whoever has fired at any single civilian gun who is unarmed.
Okay, so before I close my conversation with you, do you think that can Iran go the Bangladesh or Nepal way, sir?
Absolutely not. I think what the United States, I think if we compare what's happening in Venezuela and what's going to happen to Iran, it's a very clear indication that the United States is doing what Israel wanted to be done for the West Asia by dismantling any country that poses a threat to Israel in the future. Having said that, I would say Iran is the only country which having the ballistic missile technology, the nuclear capabilities that can harm Israel hegemony and expansion in the region. So I think they wanted to destroy the infrastructure of Iran. Unlike what happened in Venezuela, they just hijacked the president and his wife. They kept the structure intact. Here, you wanted what? You wanted total destruction. The same thing you did to Syria, you did to Iraq, you did also to Yemen, to Somalia, to Libya, name it. And it is a project that they wanted to implement. And that's what we are worried about, the new Middle East order.
Thank you, Dr. Wad. Thank you so much for joining me.
Let's get you all the updates. Following the blast, there is of course a South Indian connection of Dr. Shaheen Shahid. Because this is news of national import that search operations are underway across the entire Al Falah University campus. The blast killed 12 people. Prices, however, of Nandini ghee have been hiked. KMF has defended Nandini is the brand. I've been getting a lot of queries on my phone. What's for the people of Karnataka? Okay, you can play tennis as much as you want to, but I'm the umpire and I will say please. There is an eyeball to eyeball confrontation. Where is this going? What is the way out? The farmers, they can actually shake a nation. Both of you down because I can also shout Prashantji.
Army plans to establish integrated battle groups in Northeast. The story has been reported by Express. What is important is that the government has been toying with the idea for a long time, and if implemented, it will mark a major step in restructuring of the Indian Armed Forces. Each integrated battle group is supposed to have a self-contained and brigade size. The rollout is expected to begin with the Panagarh-based Corps, India's first mountain strike corps. Each IBG will be commanded by a Major General rank officer and will comprise 5,000 troops. There will be no brigade commanders within the IBG structure. The IBG will comprise military, infantry, the Corps of Electronic, Mechanical, Engineers, Combat Engineers, Army Service Corps and Field Hospitals. It is reported that this is part of a larger restructuring within the Indian Army. Rudra brigades, Bhairav battalions, Divyastra batteries and Shaktiban units are all part of the restructuring mandate. The IBGs will be capable of carrying out both offensive and defensive operations. The study on this was done by General Bipin Rawat. The idea was test bedded at 9 corps on the western border in 2019, but remains to be implemented. The IBG concept was also tested through multiple exercises in the Eastern Theatre, including Him Vijay in 2019. They have got 4 strike corps, but that's a different context. Right now, we will talk about why IBGs. So I'm joined by Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, former DG Infantry, and Major General Rajan Kochar. Thank you both of you. Let me straight away go to General Sanjay Kulkarni first. So my question to you is, the Chinese have got combined arms group. They have also integrated the air defense system. So is this IBG a response to that development, sir?
See, Kartike, not necessarily. Change is constant. This reconfiguration is a necessity, primarily keeping in view how we are able to react. And that reaction can only be able to do if you're catered for troops which ensure that the task and the terrain, all of it are kept under threat, of course, and how quickly can you mobilize to a point of wherever the contact or where we intend to utilize this particular IBG called the integrated battle group. That integrated word itself indicates that all of it has been integrated. Like you rightly said, it has the infantry, it has the mechanized, it has the artillery, it has the EME, logistics, aircraft, aviation, all of it, drones, it's a compact group which is able to react. And again, keeping in view the kind of terrain, the mountainous terrain, where it's very difficult to move huge body of troops. And therefore, this integrated battle group comprising about 5,000 people are able to be mobilized at the earliest, at the point where we intend to do, keeping in view the way what the Chinese are. The Chinese are a Western theatre now. They obviously have integrated themselves. So we have also decided that we must be able to integrate. Nothing much changes on ground of the troops that are deployed. But yes, these IBGs are one which can be able to contact, keeping in view the task in mind. Okay. It is with that in mind that we need an integrated battle group, and therefore in mountains, especially in mountains, very difficult to mobilize. It's very difficult to get to it. And if you have a small, compact, ready-made, why not utilize it? Yeah.
Okay. General Kochar, is it about the speed? Is it about getting all the components together? What operational purpose will these IBGs achieve fluently? Put it in the larger context of the restructuring which is taking place within the Indian Army, whether it's Agniveer, Rudra, Bhairav, so that people can make a sense of the larger stream that is flowing in Indian Army today.
Thank you, Kartik. See, let us understand the environment in which this IBGs are going to function, and then I think we can understand the role of the IB. The IBGs are going to work in a VUCA environment, and a VUCA environment, especially when the mountain terrain is there, you will not get that much of time to mobilize. And 2020, this was experienced by us that PLA could mobilize faster than us. So I think that seed of thought came into the mind of General Rawat at that point of time. Second is the UDA cycle. When you have to take a decision, and when you have a corps and a division and a brigade and a long chain of command and a long organizational structure, you want to cut out this chain of command structure. You want a decision to be taken in a faster time frame. So these are the two concepts, important ones we need to understand. now coming to the role as such, when you have a faster kind of a speed with you, when you have a jointness with you, and when you have logistics with you, and here being a logistic man, I can tell you that without logistics, this unit will not be able to sustain itself. So you have a small compact unit with an integrated logistics, integrated jointness, all the arms are there with you, something like the Chinese have, the combined arms brigade. It's on more or less on a similar concept.
But there's also integrated air defense into it with artillery.
Yeah, that artillery is integrated in IBGs also. You have a RT regiment, you have a squadron of armor also. Because
but not air defense.
Not air defense. See, so far things are classified. So far, the entire information of IBG has not actually come out. So once we see the declassification of this, possibly we can discuss this on the national TV. So one important aspect is preemptive forward deployment, a rapid occupation of a critical terrain, because here the concept of the IBG is that we don't have to go deep into the enemy territory, even about 6 to 8 kilometers ingress, and you hold ground there. And also both offensive as well as defensive operations, something like a shallow localized offensive operations can also be done. And the last point is, and the most important, this IBG is going to be self-contained without any external reinforcement or logistics for a period of 72 to 96 hours. Because that is the crunch time, the 3-4 days of the initial battle, you are self-contained, you are not looking behind, and you are able to sustain the momentum of the operation. So you want a unit like this, and the Rudra brigade, the Bharat battalions are also organized on similar lines, which are going to be deployed in the Rajasthan sector as well as on the line of control. They are also on a similar concept. So I think the entire Indian Army and this rank of brigadier, I think, will be done away with. So far, nothing has come in black and white. But then when you don't have brigades, I don't think there is no need of a brigadier also. So you are going to have these kind of concept, and I think that is the need of the hour.
Okay.
Because unless you have this kind of a force available with you, you will not be able to dictate the terms with your adversary.
Okay. General Kulkarni, is this part of that reform mode that has been in conversation, lighter, leaner, in terms of pension reforms that the government has carried out, it became debatable, Agniveer. But, the concept like Rudra, Bhairav, they're all new to the people. But do we see it part and parcel of the way the whole institution is evolving?
Absolutely. Karthik, much that, in the civil world, it may be something new with names and all. Most of it is being already tried out. Most of it is being, we are all prepared. This kind of configurations don't take very long. And this reconfiguration for leaner, meaner is primarily with a view in keeping in as to what is required and what is expected. If we are building so much of infrastructure, we're building roads, we're building tunnels, we're able to mobilize so fast. And if you're able to mobilize with a complete team intact, not looking back at all for a task that has been given to it, why not? So all of it is generally done. But yes, now giving it a name, giving it a task, keeping in view with the threat, keeping in view with the terrain, all of it, the way they will be equipped would be based on the terrain. Because the ones in the deserts will be equipped differently, ones in mountains will be equipped differently. Each one of them would have their own requirements of self-contained, how long they would need to be self-contained, and keeping that. So therefore, anyone in serving there, and as you rightly said, post-strike corps are there, when anything being deployed subsequently is a much later thing. But immediate impact, wherever you are required to be, we are already trained. And rightly said, under a major general, 5,000 people, perfectly fine. I think these are all lighter, meaner, and very agile group which can react, act, and the infrastructure being created is with that purpose, so that mobilization is done. And you are not looking back at all. Everybody knows. They're familiar with the terrain. They are familiar with the equipment. They're familiar with the enemy that they might likely to confront. And you've achieved your aim. Aim is to be ready at all times.
Actually, when I read this report, so it just reminded me of the documentary I was seeing in one of the OTT platforms called Marines, So, Marines having their own fighter jets, they have their own sniper divisions, they have their own, heavy machine gun division, close combat specialists, field hospitals, they have their own ships, helicopters, surveillance aircraft. It means that the entire ecosystem can be moved, without mobilizing the entire length and breadth of the army to achieve those critical objectives for your country. I think I think it's a great story to talk about. I wish really I had more time because it's a fascinating thing the way Indian Army is changing with times, and I think I wish I had more time with both of you gentlemen. I'm really sorry I had to cut short this conversation. Thank you for joining me.
घर है वही जहाँ सब संग हो, रिश्तों को रंग दो, दुनिया को रंग दो।
Birla Opus Paints.
Bangladesh is on edge. Protesters also targeted symbols of Bangladesh's political history.
Mr. Yunus is being the new Jinnah of Bangladesh.
What defines this mob? Who are these people? Where do they come from? Pratham Alo, the newspaper, has also called it a terror attack.
Yunus is the Osama bin Laden of today's world.
The state has no strength, or those who are on the street are the state themselves. There's nothing called spontaneous mob. There's a theory called you keep the pot boiling.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News9, English news as it should be.
Hello and welcome. You are watching News9. I am Krishna Kumar. These are the headlines that we're tracking. Blinkit drops its 10-minute delivery branding after the government steps in to address gig workers' safety. Zepto, Swiggy, Zomato to follow. Rahul Gandhi slams the INB ministry for its move to block Jananayagan, calls it an attack on Tamil culture. Rahul Gandhi hits out at Prime Minister, says Mr. Modi will never succeed in silencing the voice of the Tamil people. The Chief of Army Staff, General Dwivedi, lauds Operation Sindoor and Operation Mahadev, tri-service synergy and counter-terror success, delivers a strong message to China, says we do not approve of any Chinese activity in the Shaksgam Valley. Xi Jinping's party CPC's delegation visits BJP's headquarters in Delhi, a first formal party-to-party meeting between India and China since the Galwan clashes of 2020. Supreme Court of India orders states to implement 1957 provisions on stray dogs, says it will impose heavy compensation for every dog bite death. Delhi police transfers Bangladeshi infiltration cases to the National Investigation Agency or NIA. FIR includes criminal conspiracy, forgery and Foreigners Act violations. Fresh FIR likely. Unrest in Iran over the past few weeks is now having a global impact. The European Parliament's President Roberta Metsola announces a complete ban on Iranian representatives from its premises. Blinkit is set to drop its 10-minute delivery branding following government intervention and rising concerns over the safety of gig workers. The move comes weeks after delivery workers across platforms staged protests in late December, flagging issues of intense delivery pressure, unsafe working conditions and lack of social security. Union Labour Minister Mansukh Mandavia has played a key role in pushing quick commerce companies to rethink fixed delivery time promises. Government sources say such commitments could encourage risky behavior among delivery workers. As part of the change, Blinkit will remove references to 10-minute delivery from all brand messaging, including advertisements, promotional campaigns, and social media communication. Sources clarify that this does not necessarily mean deliveries will slow down. Instead, companies are expected to avoid making public time-bound guarantees that could be seen as pressuring workers to rush. The government has held talks with major platforms including Blinkit, Zepto, Swiggy, asking them to remove fixed delivery timelines from marketing and branding. According to sources, all platforms have assured the government that delivery time commitments will be dropped from advertisements and public communication. The development follows nationwide strikes by gig workers on the 25th of December and the 31st, where unions accused platforms of pushing unsafe delivery models and failing to provide adequate protections. While companies have previously defended ultra-fast delivery as a result of system design than speed pressure, the government's intervention signals a shift towards a more cautious approach. For now, discussions between the government and platforms are expected to continue as labour rules under the new labour codes take shape, with gig worker safety firmly under the spotlight. Big development in the gig worker versus delivery platforms debate. We now understand that Blinkit, the quick commerce platform, is all set to drop its 10-minute delivery branding. This comes after government intervention over rising concerns of the safety of gig workers. Bear in mind, gig workers did go on strike. Certain portions of the delivery workers in the country going on strike on the 31st of December, on New Year's Eve, that essentially triggered this entire debate. And now comes government intervention into the matter. Union Labour Minister Mansukh Mandavia playing a key role in terms of making quick commerce companies push back and rethink the fixed delivery time promises as a model per se. The celebration of democracy has turned ugly amidst clashes in Ambernath after the deputy president election. It rained blows, punches and shoves. The political atmosphere turned tense soon after the election of the deputy president of the Ambernath Municipal Council. Now, reports say an argument broke out between BJP corporators and workers of the Shinde faction of Shiv Sena over the election results, and that situation escalated quickly, leading to a physical clash between the two sides. Shiv Sena workers have alleged that BJP corporators assaulted them during the scuffle. Some Shiv Sena workers reportedly suffered injuries in the incident. Local police reached the spot immediately after receiving information and brought the situation under control. Both sides were counselled and an investigation has been initiated. Additional police force has been deployed in the area to prevent any further escalation. Following the clash, political tensions in Ambarnath have intensified, with the Shiv Sena's Shinde faction demanding strict action, while the BJP has denied all the allegations, calling them politically motivated. This incident has once again highlighted rising tensions in local body politics in Maharashtra. In some breaking news coming in, an encounter has broken out between security forces and terrorists in the Kathua district of Jammu during ongoing search operations. Officials say that the encounter began in the Najot area of Kathua after security forces fired at a suspected terrorist hideout. This was followed by retaliatory firing by the terrorists, triggering an exchange of gunfire. According to initial inputs, the terrorists belonged to Jaish-e-Mohammed, and one of the group's commanders, identified as Mavi, is believed to be trapped in the area. Security forces had launched the operation based on specific intelligence inputs, and the search operation later escalated into a full-fledged encounter after the terrorists opened fire. The area has been cordoned off now, and additional reinforcements have been rushed to the spot as the operation continues. More details are awaited. Encounter breaking out between security forces and terrorists in the Kathua district of Jammu. This after an ongoing search operation escalated quickly after terrorists opened gunfire. The encounter is reportedly in the Najot area of Kathua. Security forces have supposedly fired at a suspected terrorist hideout. And according to initial inputs, the terrorists belong to Jaish-e-Mohammed, with one of the group's commanders, known as Mavi, said to be trapped in the area. This operation, the search operation, had been launched based on specific intelligence inputs. We have my colleague Raman Saini now joining us on the phone. Raman Saini जी बताइए, ये जो एनकाउंटर हो रहा है कथुआ के बारे में, उसके बारे में लेटेस्ट तमाम खबरें क्या हैं आपके पास?
जी बिल्कुल कृष्ण, देखिए ये एनकाउंटर जो है ये दरअसल कठुआ का नजोत का इलाका पड़ता है, दूर दराज बिलावर के साथ लगता हुआ इलाका है, जहां पर एनकाउंटर की खबर मिली है। और पिछले से करीबन एक सप्ताह से जैश-ए-मोहम्मद के एक आतंकियों का ग्रुप जो है इस इलाके के अंदर एक्टिवेट हुआ है। और पिछले दिनों भी हमने देखा था कि खौक के इलाके के अंदर जो है वहां पर बाकायदा एनकाउंटर हुआ था और एक आतंकी के हिट होने की भी जो खबर है वो मिली थी। हालांकि बाद में आतंकी जो है वहां पर वो पकड़ा नहीं जा सका था और वहां से रात के अंधेरे का फायदा उठाकर बचकर निकल गया था। और उसके बाद करीबन 2 दिनों के बाद उसने उसी वहीं से करीबन 2 किलोमीटर की दूरी पर एक घर के अंदर से खाना और कंबल जो है वो वहां से बंदूक के दम पर जो है वो लेकर वहां से फरार हुआ था। और अब ये जानकारी निकलकर सामने आ रही है, ये नजोत का इलाका पड़ता है और वहां पर पुलिस पार्टी जो है वहां पर पहुंची हुई थी, जो फायर एंड मूव का ड्रिल आगे कर रहे थे। उसी बीच में आतंकी की तरफ से फायर हुआ है और कुछ एक राउंड जो है वो फायरिंग हुई है दोनों ग्रुप्स के बीच में, यानी कि आतंकी और सुरक्षा बलों के बीच में। उसके बाद क्योंकि ये इलाका अभी घने जंगल का है, धुंध काफी है उस इलाके के अंदर, तो आतंकी जो है वो जंगल के बीच में छुपा हुआ है और लगातार उस आतंकी तक पहुंच बनाने की कोशिश जो है वो सुरक्षाकर्मी कर रहे हैं। जी कृष्णा।
Raman Saini there joining us with the latest on the ongoing encounter in Jammu. Now, Congress party leader and leader of the opposition in the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, has slammed the Information and Broadcasting Ministry, accusing it of blocking the Tamil film starring actor and chief of the TVK party, Vijay Jananayagan, calling it an attack on Tamil culture. In a sharp post, Rahul Gandhi accused the Modi government of trying to silence the voice of the Tamil people, saying such attempts will never succeed. The Congress party is framing the controversy as a cultural and linguistic flashpoint, especially sensitive in Tamil Nadu, where cinema and identity are deeply intertwined. The High Court, the Madras High Court, had earlier ordered a UA certification to be granted for Jananayagan, which was stayed by a 2-judge bench of the High Court. And the CBFC, or the Central Board for Film Certification, has now moved the Supreme Court. And so has the team, the makers of Jananayagan. The case is sub judice, but with strong political colours in poll-bound Tamil Nadu. Meanwhile, the party TVK has issued a statement thanking supporters and political leaders over the release of the film. The party said it is grateful to all the people and leaders who stood by the movie. TVK added that party, cadre, fans and people across Tamil Nadu want the movie to be released peacefully. The matter, however, is still pending before the court.
We thank all the people and all the leaders who were supported for the release of the movie, and definitely this is the last movie of our leader. Sentimentally, and all our party cadres and including all the people of Tamil Nadu and the whole of our leaders fans wanted this movie to be released peacefully, and definitely we wanted this to happen very peacefully.
Politics is surely heating up in Tamil Nadu this Pongal, where the Congress is rolling out a bumper mix of campaign and culture, eyeing a bigger role in the state's electoral battle. From festive outreach to projecting Rahul Gandhi as a mass leader, the battle for Tamil Nadu has well and truly begun. This comes as Rahul Gandhi will be in Tamil Nadu for Pongal festivities, which kicks off tomorrow with Bhogi, followed by Pongal the day after tomorrow. Rahul Gandhi will be attending Pongal festivities at an event at a school in Nilgiris, seen as a cultural outreach in the state, even though no political meetings have been fixed amidst DMK Congress tensions.
After stealing the title of Jan Nayak from Karpuri Thakurji, now Rahul Gandhi has been given yet another label in Tamil Nadu by the Sycophant Congress Committee as Thalaiva. Thalaiva is used for our superstars, for our great leaders. But Rahul Gandhi, you are not Thalaiva, you are not Jan Nayak, you are Videsh Nayak. You are out in Vietnam, then you were in Berlin, you were busy in your Videsh Yatra. So you should be called as Videsh Nayak. And today, when you are talking about Tamil Nadu, please tell us that what is it that your government has done for the people of Tamil Nadu. Recently, Raj Thackeray has used the choicest of abuses towards Tamil Nadu. What stand did you take? What stand did you take against Uddhav Thackeray, who is in India Alliance? Zero stand. So therefore, you are not Thalaiva. You are not having any concern for people of Tamil Nadu. You are only a Videsh Nayak who is leader of Paryatan. That is the best title for you. Leader of partying and Paryatan.
As the BMC municipality elections of Mumbai approach, political tensions are escalating sharply with BJP leader Annamalai of Tamil Nadu emerging at the centre of a widening controversy. The Shiv Sena Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray faction has launched a strong attack on the Mahayuti leadership, accusing it of remaining silent over statements attributed to Annamalai that allegedly questioned Maharashtra's dignity and Mumbai's identity. In its Samna editorial, the party warned that Marathi voters are closely watching how the issue is being handled. The row erupted after Annamalai, during a rally, reportedly suggested that Mumbai does not belong to Maharashtra but is an international city, a remark that triggered sharp backlash from the Thackeray faction of the Shiv Sena. Samna, the mouthpiece of the Shiv Sena, trained its fire squarely on Annamalai, launching a scathing editorial attack, once again referring to him as Rasmalai, comparing him to a beggar and repeating a lungi jibe to target the Tamil Nadu BJP leader. Escalating the political exchange, Aditya Thackeray directly targeted Annamalai, questioning his political relevance and asserting that Maharashtra will not tolerate opinions that undermine the state's identity or Mumbai's status. With civic polls nearing, the Annamalai controversy has become a flashpoint, pushing identity politics and regional pride to the forefront of Maharashtra's political contest. In what is seen as another move reflecting China's expansionist policies, Beijing reiterated its territorial claims over the Shaksgam Valley, saying its infrastructure projects in the region are beyond reproach. This comes just days after New Delhi asserted its right to protect its interests in the area. India's Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson Randhir Jaiswal emphasized that the Shaksgam Valley is Indian territory.
First of all, the territory you have mentioned are part of China's territory, and China's infrastructure activities in its own territory is beyond reproach. China and Pakistan have signed border agreement and determined the border between the two countries since the 1960s. These are rights of China and Pakistan as sovereign states. And the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor as an economic cooperation initiative aims to promote local economic and social development and improve people's livelihood. Such agreement and China-Pakistan economic.
At a media conference, India's Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson Randhir Jaiswal said that India has never recognized the so-called China-Pakistan border agreement of 1963. He added that India also does not recognize the China-Pakistan economic corridor as it passes through Indian territory under illegal occupation by Pakistan. Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh are integral parts of India, and this has been clearly communicated to both Pakistan and China on several occasions. Now, the Shaksgam Valley, covering over 5,180 square kilometers, was illegally ceded to China by Pakistan in 1963 from areas Pakistan itself had occupied unlawfully.
Shaksgam Valley is Indian territory. We have never recognized the so-called China-Pakistan boundary agreement that happened in 1963. We have consistently maintained that the agreement is illegal and invalid. We do not recognize the so-called China-Pakistan economic corridor either, which passes through Indian territory that is under forcible and illegal occupation of Pakistan. The entire Union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh are an integral and inalienable part of India. This has been clearly conveyed to Pakistani and the Chinese authorities several times. We have consistently protested with the Chinese side against attempts to alter the ground reality in Shaksgam Valley. We further reserve the right to take necessary measures to safeguard our interests.
Meanwhile, the army chief has said that the Indian army does not accept Chinese activity in Shaksgam Valley. Army Chief General Dwivedi saying that India does not accept the joint statement by China on CEPEC 2.0. He termed the infrastructure development in the area as part of illegal activities carried out by China.
The 1963 agreement between Pakistan and China as illegal. Therefore, any activity in Shaksgam Valley is concerned, we do not approve of it, and in this terms, MEA has already issued the statement. Therefore, the joint statement which has been issued in China, what I understand about the CPEC 2.0, we do not accept it, and we consider that it is an illegal action which is being carried out by the two nations.
The Congress party has stepped up its attack on the BJP, tweeting that the Modi government's foreign policy is on life support. The Congress party questioned the government's response, asking pointedly what has happened to Prime Minister Modi's much-touted red eye posture on China. Now, India's Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi has delivered a strong and clear message on national security, placing Operation Sindoor at the center of India's evolving military doctrine. Addressing the Army's annual press conference in New Delhi, the Chief of Army Staff said Operation Sindoor stands as the finest example of tri-services synergy with The Army, Navy and the Air Force working in complete coordination and with full operational freedom. General Dwivedi said that the operation launched after the deadly Pahalgam terror attack remains ongoing. He underlined that India's response was calibrated, precise and decisive, striking deep into terror infrastructure and dismantling key enemy assets. The Army Chief said 7 of the 9 identified targets were successfully neutralized, resetting long-held strategic assumptions and demonstrating India's readiness to respond to any future misadventure.
India's calibrated and resolute response to cross-border terrorism demonstrated our readiness, precision and strategic clarity. Op Sindoor was conceptualized and executed with precision. Through 22 minutes of initiation on 7th May and an orchestration that lasted 88 hours up to 10th May, the operation reset strategic assumptions by striking deep, dismantling terror infrastructure and puncturing the long-standing nuclear rhetoric. The Army successfully destroyed 7 out of the 9 targets and thereafter played a pivotal role in ensuring calibrated response to Pak actions. As you may be aware, Operation Sindoor remains ongoing. Any future misadventure will be resolutely responded to. Here I must acknowledge the proactive role of all stakeholders at the national level, including CAPFs, intelligences, civic bodies, state administration and other ministries, whether it's MHA, Mayati, Railways and many more. Operation Sindoor was the best example of tri-service synergy under clear-cut political directive and full freedom to act or respond.
Turning to Pakistan's nuclear rhetoric, General Dwivedi made it clear that such posturing failed to deter India's actions. He said that the operation effectively punctured the narrative built around nuclear threats, underlining that India acted with clarity and confidence. The Army Chief noted that there was no nuclear signaling during military-level engagements and emphasized that preparedness, modernization and integration are India's strongest deterrents. On internal security, the Army Chief said Jammu and Kashmir remains sensitive but firmly under control, with terrorism steadily declining. He highlighted that 31 terrorists were eliminated over the past year, most of them of Pakistani origin, while local recruitment has fallen to single digits, signaling a major shift on the ground.
न्यूक्लियर रिटोरिक का चीज है। मैं ये कहना चाहूंगा कि डीजीएमओ टॉक्स में न्यूक्लियर के ऊपर कोई भी बात नहीं हुई थी और जो न्यूक्लियर रिटोरिक जो भी दी जा रही थी वो पॉलिटिशियंस द्वारा दी जा रही थी या लोकल पब्लिक द्वारा दी जा रही थी पाकिस्तान में। मुझे ऐसा कोई अंदाज नहीं है कि मिलिट्री की तरफ से ये कोई ऐसी चीज आई थी। जब हम बोलते हैं कि इसमें हमारा रोल क्या था, जब हम बात करते हैं, पहले बोला जाता था कि कन्वेंशनल ऑपरेशंस के लिए जो स्पेस है वो कम होती जा रही है और सब कन्वेंशनल से डायरेक्टली हम सीधे न्यूक्लियर डोमेन में जाएंगे। परंतु इस बार जो हमने कार्रवाई की, आपको पता है कि जम्मू कश्मीर में स्पेशली जिस तरह की फायरिंग हुई थी और जिस तरह से हमने उनको एड्रेस किया और तकरीबन हमने उनके 100 लोगों को जो खत्म किया, वो सब कार्रवाई जो हुई थी वो इसीलिए हुई थी क्योंकि हमने कन्वेंशनल स्पेस को बढ़ाया। और उस 88 आवर्स में आपने देखा कि कन्वेंशनल स्पेस को बढ़ाने के लिए आर्मी का जो मोबिलाइजेशन था वो इस प्रकार से था कि कोई भी ऐसी गलती अगर पाकिस्तान ने की जिसमें कि हमें मजबूर होना पड़ा, ग्राउंड ऑपरेशन शुरू होने के लिए हमने पूरी तैयारी कर रखी थी। तो मैं यही कहना चाहूंगा कि जहां तक न्यूक्लियर रिटोरिक का सवाल था, डीजीएमओ लेवल पे कोई ऐसी बात नहीं हुई थी और कन्वेंशनल स्पेस को हमने बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ाया था।
Shifting focus to the northeast, General Dwivedi said Manipur has witnessed marked improvement due to neutral and decisive actions by security forces along with proactive government initiatives. He said peace-building measures, cultural revival and coordinated security efforts have helped stabilize the region. The Army Chief added that vigilance remains critical, especially given the instability in neighboring Myanmar, with a strong multi-agency grid now in place to prevent spillover effects.
As regards the northeast, neutral, transparent and decisive actions by security forces, along with many proactive government initiatives, have led to a marked improvement situation in Manipur during 2025. Peaceful conduct of Durand Cup, resumption of cultural festivals like Shiroi Lili, Sangai, and renewal of suspension of operations, that is SU, with Kuki insurgent groups in September 25 have been key markers of stability.
In a significant diplomatic development, a delegation of China's ruling Communist Party visited the BJP headquarters in New Delhi. This marks the first formal party-to-party engagement between India and China since the deadly Galwan clash of 2020, which had frozen political and military ties between the two sides. The delegation representing Chinese President Xi Jinping's Communist Party of China held talks with senior BJP leaders as part of efforts to rebuild political communication. And according to the CPC, discussions focused on ways to enhance dialogue and communication between the BJP and the Communist Party of China. Leaders of China's Communist Party also visited RSS headquarters, met RSS General Secretary Dattatreya Hosable. The meeting lasted for about an hour at the headquarters of the RSS, and according to RSS sources, this was merely a courtesy call as the CCP leaders had expressed a desire to meet. Meanwhile, the Congress Party has questioned the BJP's relationship with China and took a swipe at Prime Minister Narendra Modi, alleging that those who once spoke of showing red eyes to China have instead rolled out a red carpet for it.
बीजेपी ने गिरगिट को भी एक रंग सिखा दिया। जिन्हें लाल आंखें दिखानी थी, उनके लिए लाल कारपेट बिछा दिया। हमें यह दिक्कत नहीं है कि चीन की सीपीसी, कम्युनिस्ट पार्टी ऑफ चाइना के लाइजॉन डिपार्टमेंट के जो शीर्ष डेलीगेशन है, उनका स्वागत कल बीजेपी के मुख्यालय में हुआ। हमें इस बात की दिक्कत नहीं है। जब बीजेपी विपक्ष में थी तब भी लगातार इनसे मिलती थी, वहां जा जाकर मिलती थी। दिक्कत है भाजपा के दोगलेपन से, दोहरेपन से, ढोंग से, मक्कारी से। दिक्कत इससे है। अरे साहब एमओयू हो गया, 10 साल से बोलते रहे एमओयू हो गया और एमओयू हो गया, और खुद देखिए क्या कर रहे हैं।
And with that, a wrap here on this edition of the news. Keep watching News9. Lots more coming up.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News9, English news as it should be.
A tall cappuccino with caramel syrup and cardamom.
Sure. A tall cappuccino with caramel syrup and cardamom. Sure.
Tall alfacino with camel ka soup and Cardi G ki mom. अदरक वाली चाय पिलाओ ना, कड़क।
सर, मलाई मार के देती हूँ।
लाइफ हो या इन्वेस्टिंग, भीड़ के पीछे मत भागो। म्यूचुअल फंड अपनाओ और खुद के हिसाब से इन्वेस्ट करो।
म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। योजना से संबंधित सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
Light, camera, and action. Kick back, relax, grab your favorite snack because News9 is here with your weekend dose of entertainment. It's time to take a deeper dive into the buzzworthy happenings of the entertainment world. From celebrity gossips to exclusive conversations, from nostalgic moments to News9's pick of the week, don't worry, we've got you covered here. And I hope you've grabbed your popcorn by now because News9's page 3 is here to serve you everything that we call entertainment. So do stay tuned every Saturday and Sunday, 2:30 p.m.
You're watching Global Lens. I'm Krishna Kumar. The United States virtual embassy in Iran has issued an advisory for American citizens to leave Iran immediately, warning that protests across the country are escalating and could turn violent, leading to arrests, injuries, and severe disruptions to daily life. In its advisory, the embassy said that the protests across Iran may turn violent amidst heightened security measures by Iranian authorities. The advisory also flagged travel disruptions, noting that several airlines have limited or cancelled flights to and from Iran. Urging U.S. citizens to take immediate precautions, the embassy advised citizens to consider leaving Iran by land to Armenia and Turkey. For those unable to leave, the embassy advised finding a secure location and stocking up on essential supplies. The advisory reiterated serious risks for U.S. nationals, particularly dual citizens. The advisory comes as large demonstrations have been reported across provinces, including Azerbaijan province and the central city of Arak, with crowds waving flags and chanting slogans. At least 544 people have been killed and more than 10,681 people have been arrested and transferred to prisons, according to the Human Rights News Agency. The U.S. virtual embassy in Iran issuing an advisory to American citizens still in Iran to leave the country immediately. Leave Iran now, quote unquote, is what the advisory says. It has warned that protests are escalating and are turning violent. It has flagged travel disruptions, noting that many airlines have now either limited or completely cancelled flights to and from Iran. U.S. citizens in Iran have been urged to take immediate precautions. The embassy has advised citizens to consider leaving Iran by land to Armenia and Turkey. And for those who can't do that as well, the embassy has advised finding a secure location and stocking up on essential supplies. US President Donald Trump has meanwhile threatened to impose more tariffs on countries that trade with Iran. In a Truth Social post, the US President said that he will impose a 25% tariff on countries that trade with Iran. He said, and I quote, effective immediately, any country doing business with the Islamic Republic of Iran will pay a tariff of 25% on any and all business being done with the United States of America. This order is final and conclusive. Thank you for your attention to this matter, unquote. These new tariffs could affect India-Iran trade. According to the Indian embassy in Tehran, India exported goods worth $1.24 billion to Iran in the financial year 2024-25, while it imported goods worth less than $500 million, taking the total trade to $1.68 billion. The biggest share in trade was that of organic chemicals, worth over $500 million, followed by edible fruits, nuts, peels of citrus fruits and melons at over $300 million, and mineral fuels, oils and distillation products at around $86.5 million.
U.S. President Donald Trump is ramping up pressure on Iran, which is facing its largest anti-government protests in years. On Monday, Trump announced that any nation doing business with Tehran will face a 25% tariff on U.S. trade. He called the order final and conclusive, but is yet to release further details. Iran, which already faces heavy U.S. sanctions, counts China, the United Arab Emirates, and India among its top trading partners. The protests in Iran began after soaring prices and economic hardship, but have since escalated into calls for the fall of the Iranian regime. U.S.-based rights group HRANA reports hundreds killed and over 10,000 arrested since demonstrations erupted on December 28, though Reuters has not independently verified those figures. The U.S. has warned its citizens in Tehran to consider leaving by land to Armenia or Turkey due to the protests. Tehran says it is keeping communication channels open with Washington. Iranian officials confirm ongoing talks with U.S. envoys, but have rejected proposals they call incompatible with American threats. Meanwhile, Trump has hinted at possible meetings with Iranian officials, but warned that military strikes remain on the table. The situation has rattled global oil markets, pushing prices to 7-week highs on Monday due to fears of supply disruptions.
The European Parliament has banned all Iranian diplomats and representatives from the Assembly's premises over a deadly crackdown on protests in Iran. On a post on social media platform X, EU's Parliament President Roberta Metsola said, and I quote, "It cannot be business as usual as the brave people of Iran continue to stand up for their rights and their liberty. Today I have taken the decision to ban all diplomatic staff and any other representatives of the Islamic Republic of Iran from all European Parliament premises," unquote. Nurses with the New York State Nurses Association picketed outside New York Presbyterian Hospital's Columbia campus, calling for safer staffing levels, improved working conditions, and a fair contract. The action marked what union leaders described as the largest nurses' strike in New York City history, with nearly 15,000 nurses walking off the job across multiple hospitals.
It is so important for us to strike as nurses because we do not have enough support. We do not have enough nurses. There's too many patients. There's not enough nurses. We are spread so thin. I want to spend more time with my patients. I want to be able to be at bedside, but I can't because I'm running around from room to room to room to room. And it's not enough. We need more support. We need more nurses.
I work in the ED. It's very hard because as much as we want to make sure that every one of our patients are being taken care of, you gotta give us the resources, the favorable condition, actually safe conditions, especially in the ED. It has to be safe because we are facing, workplace violence, not only with staff, but also with patients. We don't know what's coming in, so we want to make sure we take care of you very well.
The nurses said chronic understaffing has left them stretched thin, limiting the time they can spend with patients and raising safety concerns as well. Union officials said that the strike followed months of bargaining in which hospital management failed to make progress on what nurses described as core issues, including staffing levels, healthcare benefits, and workplace safety. Nurses carried signs that read "Patients over profits" and "Safe nurses equals safe patients," while supporters waved from a sky bridge as ambulances passed by. New York City's Mayor Zoran Mamdani joined the nurses and urged a return to negotiations.
It is time for us to recognize the work that you put in on a day-to-day basis. That we see the work that you do, we believe that work should be recognized, and we stand here alongside you in the fight for that. That you do. Thank you. It is time for us to recognize the work that you put in on a day-to-day basis. That we see the work that you do, we believe that work should be recognized, and we stand here alongside you in the fight for that. That you do. Thank you.
Keeping it with the U.S., where Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, agents arrested a comedian and protest singer known as Robbie Roadsteamer, who was wearing a giraffe costume during a protest outside a federal building in Minneapolis. Video showed agents forcing him to the ground as protesters shouted at the officers and moved in to confront them. In the visuals, Roadsteamer and other demonstrators can be seen dancing on the street, including alongside another protester dressed in a frog costume, while singing songs against Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE. Elsewhere in Minneapolis, residents faced off with additional ICE agents, and some were seen being tear-gassed as well. Tensions erupted in Minnesota last week when a federal immigration officer shot and killed Renee Good, a 37-year-old mother of three who was observing the federal law enforcement action. A growing number of Republicans in the U.S. Congress or the U.S. Parliament expressed concern on Monday about the Trump administration's threat to indict Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, with two senators threatening to retaliate by blocking President Trump's central bank nominees, and a third calling for the federal probe to end quickly. More in this report.
A growing number of Republicans in Congress voiced concern on Monday over the Trump administration's threat to indict Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. Senator Tom Tillis was the first to announce plans to resist the Justice Department's criminal investigation into Powell. Columbia Law School professor Catherine Judge explains.
Senator Tom Tillis, a Republican who is on the banking committee, has expressed significant concerns about this development and has vowed not to move forward with the nomination hearings for Powell's successor as chair until this matter is resolved. So part of what we're seeing here is this might actually trigger backlash that really undermines President Trump's ability to pursue his agenda as he had hoped.
The DOJ's investigation concerns allegations that Powell misled Congress in testimony related to a renovation of the Fed's headquarters complex in Washington.
Do you expect any more additional cost overruns?
Republican Senator Kevin Cramer criticized cost overruns on that project, but said, quote, "I do not believe, however, he is a criminal." He also said he hoped the investigation would end quickly, adding, quote, "We need to restore confidence in the Fed."
Nobody thinks that Chair Powell willfully misled Congress, as would be required for the criminal indictment to really come through and come to fruition. The real concern here is that you're using levers that are meant to be used solely for purposes of true criminal activity and instead being used for political ends.
This new threat is not about my testimony last June.
Powell called the administration's move a pretext to influence interest rates after a long-running pressure campaign to dramatically lower them.
The right thing is to lower interest rates.
The DOJ's move sent rates on longer-term U.S. Treasury bonds higher as investors parsed what a less independent Fed could mean for inflation and monetary policy. Former Fed chairs Janet Yellen, Ben Bernanke, and Alan Greenspan joined with former federal government economic policy leaders from both political parties in raising the alarm over a less independent Fed. But on Monday, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt denied Trump's direct involvement.
Did the president ever direct DOJ officials to open an investigation into Powell?
No. One thing for sure, the president's made it quite clear, is Jerome Powell is bad at his job. As for whether or not Jerome Powell is a criminal, that's an answer the Department of Justice is going to have to find out.
A Justice Department spokesperson declined to comment on the case, but added, the Attorney General has instructed her U.S. attorneys to prioritize investigating any abuse of taxpayer dollars.
The International Court of Justice opened a landmark case accusing Myanmar of genocide against its Muslim Rohingya minority. Gambia filed a case against Myanmar at the UN's top court in the year 2019, 2 years after A military offensive forced hundreds of thousands of Rohingya from their homes into neighboring Bangladesh.
Please be seated.
A landmark case accusing Myanmar of committing genocide against the Rohingya opened at the United Nations Top Court on Monday. This is the first genocide case the International Court of Justice will hear in full in over a decade. The outcome is expected to have far-reaching repercussions, even impacting South Africa's genocide case against Israel over the Gaza conflict. Speaking in The Hague before the hearings, Rohingya victims said they want the long-awaited court case to deliver justice.
I would like to mention that this time we don't just hope to get justice, we demand it. And we would like to ask the court to take the actions against the Myanmar dictators, the leaders of the Myanmar military who committed the genocide. They have to be accountable, and they should be punished. So this time, we want to see a real output from the court and actions.
The predominantly Muslim country of Gambia filed a case at the ICJ in 2019. They accused Myanmar of committing genocide against the Rohingya, a mainly Muslim minority in the Rakhine state. Myanmar has denied the genocide accusations.
And I think it's a little unreasonable to expect us to resolve everything in 18 months.
In 2017, Myanmar's military launched an offensive that forced at least 730,000 Rohingya to flee to Bangladesh. There, they recounted stories of killings, mass rape and arson. A UN fact-finding mission said that the offensive had included acts that were, quote, genocidal. Myanmar rejected that report, saying its military offensive was in response to attacks by Muslim militants.
The Pentagon is moving decisively to expand its use of artificial intelligence, announcing the integration of Elon Musk's ex-AI chatbot Grok into US military networks, even as the platform faces global scrutiny over misuse concerns. US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth confirmed that Grok will operate alongside Google's generative AI systems inside the Defense Department, marking a major push to embed advanced AI across both classified and unclassified military networks. The move is part of a broader strategy to feed vast volumes of military and intelligence data into AI systems to accelerate decision-making and innovation. The announcement was made in South Texas in the US during an event hosted at a SpaceX facility and signals an aggressive shift towards rapid adoption of emerging technologies within the US Armed Forces. Grok is expected to go live inside Pentagon systems later this month, with military IT and intelligence data increasingly made available for AI-driven analysis. However, the move comes amidst international backlash against Grok. Several countries, including Malaysia and Indonesia and India, following concerns over deep fake image generation and harmful explicit content. America's Defense Secretary Hegseth's approach marks a contrast with the Biden administration's AI framework, which sought to balance innovation with safeguards, restricting applications that could violate civil rights or automate nuclear weapons deployment. It remains unclear how those restrictions will be applied under the current administration in the US. The Defense Secretary has emphasized speed, scale, and dominance in military AI, arguing that the Pentagon's decades of combat and intelligence data provide a unique advantage. At the same time, he has made it clear that future military AI systems will prioritize operational effectiveness over ideological considerations. The Pentagon has not yet addressed concerns surrounding Grok's past controversies as the US military moves rapidly to position artificial intelligence at the core of its future warfare and security strategy.
We're excited to announce the next frontier AI model company to join GenAI.mil, and that is Grok from xAI, which will go live later this month. So I want to thank you, Elon, and your incredible team for leaning forward with us on this as well. Very soon, we will have the world's leading AI models on every unclassified and classified network throughout our department. Long overdue. To further that, today, at my direction, We're executing an AI acceleration strategy that will extend our lead in military AI established during President Trump's first term. This strategy will unleash experimentation, eliminate bureaucratic barriers, focus on investments, and demonstrate the execution approach needed to ensure we lead in military AI and that it grows more dominant into the future.
Britain will bring into effect a law criminalizing the creation of non-consensual intimate images by Grok AI this week. Technology Minister Liz Kendall has officially told this in Parliament after Britain's media regulator Ofcom launched an investigation into Elon Musk's X.
The platforms that host such material must be held accountable, including X.
Britain's technology minister Liz Kendall told Parliament on Monday that it will bring into effect a law this week that criminalizes the creation of non-consensual intimate images. It comes after media regulator Ofcom launched an investigation into Elon Musk's X over concerns its Grok AI chatbot was creating sexually intimate deepfake images in violation of its duty to protect people in the UK from illegal content.
Lives can and have been devastated by this content. They are not harmless images. They're weapons of abuse, disproportionately aimed at women and girls. And they are illegal.
The Ofcom probe mounts pressure on Musk's X, which already faces growing public outcry, as well as criminal and regulatory probes around the world, including in France and India. When asked on Monday about the investigation, X pointed to a previous statement in which it said it takes action against illegal content on the platform by removing it, permanently suspending accounts, and working with governments and law enforcement as necessary. X said it has restricted requests to undress people in images to paying users only, a step Kendall said doesn't go far enough.
It is insulting to victims to say, you can still have this service if you're willing to pay. And it is monetizing abuse.
Kendall also said the government would keep under review its decision to continue using X as a means of communication. Following initial action against porn sites that did not have effective age checks, the Grok case will likely be the first big test of Britain's online safety law, which was enacted in 2023 but is being implemented in stages by Ofcom.
And with that's a wrap here from my side. Thank you for watching. This is Krishna Kumar signing off.
जरा सोच के देखिए, आपके पास कुछ ऐसा है जो आपकी दुनिया बदल सकता है। जानते हैं क्या? आपका अपना सोना। सोना क्या नहीं कर सकता? सोना आपको अपने सपनों का घर दिला सकता है, आपके बच्चों का भविष्य बना सकता है। सोना आपकी हर इच्छा पूरी कर सकता है। तो भारत की सबसे बड़ी गोल्ड लोन NBFC मुथूट फाइनेंस से गोल्ड लोन लीजिए और फिर देखिए सोना क्या नहीं कर सकता। मुथूट फाइनेंस, जहां विश्वास ही परंपरा है। कॉल कीजिए 1-800-313-1212।
दूरियां कोई अपनों में ना रहे, दिल में जब उमंग हो, घर है वही जहां सब संग हो, रिश्तों को रंग दो, दुनिया को रंग दो।
Birla Opus Paints.
Delhi is losing the fight against pollution.
This is not a story of just children. This is the story of every elderly person in the National Capital Region.
Delhi's hazardous air quality.
Smog capital of the world.
Delhi pollution has left us sick and exposed, also frankly embarrassed.
Hazardous air quality are disrupting daily life.
Growing issue of a toxic air looming large over Delhi.
Delhi's air quality index has been hovering between 300 and 400 for the past week.
The culprit was the same PM 2.5, the main pollutant which is emitted from heavy industries, power plants, vehicles, crop burning and coal-based heating.
The overall air quality of the city continues to remain in the very poor category.
We look at how Delhi is once again struggling with danger.
It's not just about today, it's about the future.
Red Fort explosion. Let's get you all the updates. Following the blast, there is of course a South Indian connection of Dr. Shaheen Shahid. Because this is news of national import that search operations are underway across the entire Al Falah University campus. The blast killed 12 people. Prices, however, of Nandini ghee have been hiked. KMF has defended. Nandini is the brand. I've been getting a lot of queries on my phone. What's for the people of Karnataka? Okay, you can play tennis as much as you want to, but I'm the umpire and I will say, please. There is an eyeball to eyeball confrontation. Where is this going? What is the way out? The farmers, they can actually shake a nation. Both of you down, because I can also shout Prashantji.
Light, camera and action. Kick back, relax, grab your favorite snack because News9 is here with your weekend dose of entertainment. It's time to take a deeper dive into the buzzworthy happenings of the entertainment world. From celebrity gossips to exclusive conversations, from nostalgic moments to News9's pick of the week, don't worry, we've got you covered here. And I hope you've grabbed your popcorn by now because News9's page 3 is here to serve you everything that we call entertainment. So do stay tuned every Saturday and Sunday, 2:30 p.m.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News9, English news as it should be.
Rahul Gandhi slams INB ministry for move to block Jananayagan, calls it an attack on Tamil culture. Rahul Gandhi hits out at Prime Minister, says Mr. Modi will never succeed in silencing the voice of Tamil people. Blinkit removes its 10-minute delivery promise across all platforms following intervention by Union Ministry of Labour. Move aims to improve safety and working conditions for gig workers, with Swiggy, Zepto and Zomato expected to follow. General Dwivedi lauds Operation Sindoor and Operation Mahadev. Tri-services synergy and counter-terror success, delivers a strong message to China, says we do not approve of any Chinese activity in the Shaksgam Valley. Chinese President Xi Jinping's party CPC delegation visits BJP headquarters in the national capital. A first formal party-to-party meeting between India and China since Galwan 2020. Supreme Court order states to implement 1957 provisions on stray dogs, says it will impose heavy compensation for every dog bite death. Delhi police transfers Bangladeshi infiltration case to NIA. FIR includes criminal conspiracy, forgery and Foreigners Act violations. Fresh FIR likely. Unrest in Iran over the past few weeks impacting Iranians globally. European Parliament President Roberta Metsola announces a complete ban on Iranian representatives from its premises. Hello and welcome. You're watching News9 with me, Shweta Kothari. The Congress party is once again in the tough spot over creative freedom and cinema, with two sharply contrasting positions taken by the film releases in Tamil Nadu. On one hand, the Tamil Nadu Youth Congress has demanded a ban on Sivakarthikeyan's film Parasakti, accusing the makers of distorting history and defaming Congress leaders, including former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi and veteran leader K. Kamaraj. The Youth Congress has alleged that the film contains fabricated scenes, including one where Sivakarthikeyan's character is shown meeting Indira Gandhi, who is portrayed in what the party calls a villainous manner. The organization has demanded that the film be banned, objectionable scenes be removed, and a public apology be issued, warning of legal actions. The statement was publicly shared on social media by party leaders. The Youth Congress has also objected to scenes depicting alleged Hindi imposition in 1965, claiming that the portrayal is historically false, was deliberately created to malign the Congress party. However, in a sharp contrast, the Congress party itself and its leader Rahul Gandhi has taken a complete opposition stand in a separate case. Reacting to the controversy surrounding the film Jananayagan, Rahul Gandhi accused the Modi government of attempting to silence Tamil voices, calling the CBFC's objection an attack on Tamil culture. The film, starring actor-politician Vijay, faced delays after Central Board of Film Certification referred it to a revising committee over concerns related to religious sentiments and portrayal of the armed forces. The matter eventually reached the Madras High Court, which directed the CBFC to issue a certificate. The contrasting positions have triggered sharp criticism, with questions being raised over whether the Congress party supports freedom of expression only when it's convenient to Congress's political narrative, while demanding bans and censorship when the film portrays the party or its leaders in an unfavorable light. My colleague Thoya Jakshi joining us with more details. Thoya, the opposition to one movie while support to another movie, depending on what the Congress likes and does not like, has put it in a very difficult spot. So on one hand, they want the Jananayagan movie to be released and are criticizing the Modi government. They also have a problem with Parasakti.
Well, of course, whether the Congress has found itself in an uncomfortable situation where films and freedom of expression, after taking two different positions in the state of Tamil Nadu. Now, with its Youth Congress demanding a ban on Sivakarthikeyan's latest film, Parasakti, for allegedly twisting history and wrongly shown Congress leaders like Indira Gandhi and K. Kamaraj, objecting to scenes linked to the 1965 anti-Hindi protests and asking for the film to be banned, scenes removed, and apology was also being issued, while at the same time Congress the leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi defended another film, Jananayagan, who is the starring Vijay, accusing the Modi government of trying to silence the Tamil culture after delays in certification of issuing of the censor certification. These Congress supporters free speech only when it suits its politics, and while calling for a censorship when films show the party in a very bad light. The latest that we're getting here is the opposition's reaction to this, with the BJP spokesperson C.R. Keswan has strongly attacked Rahul Gandhi on this, calling him a habitual liar and reminding him of a UPA government's past role in the ban of Jallikattu, like we all know, which he has said that the Tamil culture, adding that the film issue is before the courts, and accusing Gandhi of politicalizing it as the debate. It highlights that growing a mix of cinema and politics in Tamil Nadu, when actor turned politician TVK chief Vijay, who is preparing to enter into politics in a full-fledged manner.
Before I let you go, Thoya, let's quickly talk about the problems that the Tamil Nadu Youth Congress have with Parasakti. They've accused the movie makers of distorting history and defaming Congress leader, including former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. They also say that the scenes are fabricated, that the character is shown meeting Indira Gandhi, the main protagonist is shown Indira Gandhi, who's been portrayed in a villainous manner, and therefore they find it objectionable. At the same time, you have Rahul Gandhi, the leader of opposition, a senior Congress leader at the centre, suggesting that Jananayagan be released because it is for the people of Tamil Nadu, and people of Tamil Nadu deserve to have a free speech, free expression, and be able to express their history in the way they like. These are two very contrasting positions.
Well, yes, Shweta, this is like the Congress youth is having a problem of this movie Parashakti, where the youth Congress has also objected the scenes, despite alleged that Hindi imposition in 1965, claiming the portrayal of its historically false and was deliberately created to put down the Congress party. These are the few allegations which were made by the Youth Congress. And they have also, given out a list of objections, in a letter. And they have also, hashtag ban Parashakti. This is what, has been trending currently. When we talk about Rahul Gandhi, supporting Jananayagan. So let me also tell you one thing, Shweta. In 2017 also, Rahul Gandhi had, tweeted something similarly to this, regarding Vijay's film itself. Back then, it was a Merisil movie, which were, facing the same issue. Back then, even Rahul Gandhi had tweeted that, Modi government, criticizing the Modi government on issuing the, censor certificate. But at this point of time, also the same issue where he's taken up a stand for Vijay, and where he has come out and he has tweeted saying that the, INP your ministry is being purposely doing this, and it is like criticizing the Tamil culture and the people of Tamil Nadu.
It's the politics of convenience there for the Congress party as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned. Thank you very much, Jakshi, for all those details. We're going to move on now. Politics has heated up once again in Tamil Nadu over Pongal. Congress is rolling out bumper mix of campaign and culture, eyeing a bigger role in the state's electoral battle. From festive outreach to projecting Rahul Gandhi as a mass leader, the message is clear. The battle for Tamil Nadu has well and truly begun. This comes as Rahul Gandhi will be in Tamil Nadu for Pongal festivities, attending an event in school in Nilgiris, seen as a cultural outreach in poll-bound Tamil Nadu, even though no political meetings have been fixed amid DMK Congress tensions.
Welcome, welcome, Rahul Talaiva. Nallade nadakum neeva veeraiva.
After stealing the title of Jan Nayak from Karpuri Thakurji, now Rahul Gandhi has been given yet another label in Tamil Nadu by the Sycophant Congress Committee as Thalaiva. Thalaiva is used for our superstars, for our great leaders. But Rahul Gandhi, you are not Thalaiva, you are not Jan Nayak, you are Videsh Nayak. You were out in Vietnam, then you were in Berlin, you were busy in your Videsh Yatra. So you should be called as Videsh Nayak. And today, when you are talking about Tamil Nadu, please tell us that what is it that your government has done for the people of Tamil Nadu. Recently, Raj Thackeray has used the choicest of abuses towards Tamil Nadu. What stand did you take? What stand did you take against Uddhav Thackeray, who is in India Alliance? Zero stand. So therefore, you are not Thalaiva. You are not having any concern for people of Tamil Nadu. You are only a Videsh Nayak who is leader of Paryatan. That is the best title for you. Leader of partying and Paryatan.
Moving on now, the controversy around Yash's upcoming film Toxic, a fairy tale for grown-up, is now escalating. The Karnataka State Women's Commission has now written to CBFC seeking action over what it calls obscene scenes in the movie's teaser. This comes after Women's Wing of the Aam Aadmi Party submitted a formal complaint alleging that the teaser contains explicit visuals that harm dignity of women, negatively impact children and minor, and insult Kannada culture. The Commission has asked the censor board to verify complaints as per rules and submit an action report. The petition also demands the teaser be banned and removed from all social media platforms. The teaser was released on 8th of January, marking Yash's 40th birthday and his first project after KGF Chapter 2. While social media remains sharply divided between critics and defenders of artistic freedom, Toxic, directed by Geetu Mohandas, is scheduled for release on 19th of March. The Supreme Court today, while hearing the growing crisis of stray dogs across the country, signalled a tougher approach focused squarely on enforcement, accountability and public safety. A three-judge bench headed by Justice Vikram Nath along with Justices Sandeep Mehta and N.V. Anjaria is continuing to hear clutch of petitions related to street dogs, animal welfare and human safety. During the last hearing on 8th of January, the court made it clear that the issue is no longer about competing emotions, but about failure of authorities to implement the law. The bench sharply criticised both the centre and the states for what it described